Hey guys, Tabby Vlogs here, and I'm here with another live stream. I'm gonna message my friend really quickly. Today we're gonna be reading chapter 11 of this book. We are not all the way through yet. He's typing back. He's probably busy. He probably has to think. Okay, so he's not gonna be able to join again tonight. I understand he's tired. He had something to do. So let's get right into it, because today's gonna be short. Chapter 11, Quidditch. Summary. Harry's first Quidditch match as Gryffindor Seeker approaches, and he starts to feel anxiety take hold. Luckily, his new friend Hermione is on hand to keep him distracted with the suggestion of a new book and a cheerful fire in a jar. An encounter with Professor Snape leads to a trip to the staff room, where spotting a nasty injury to Snape's leg raises more questions than answers. On the day of the match, Harry starts out well enough, but when his broom starts misbehaving, it's his friend's quick action that saves the day. Recovering in Hagrid's hut, the trio discuss their theories on the mysteries around them, and Hagrid lets slip a new detail on the mystery of the trapdoor. As the seasons change and Hogwarts becomes shrouded in frost, the school's attention turns toward the approaching inaugural Quidditch match of the season, Gryffindor versus Slytherin. Hermione uses this shift to solidify her budding friendship with Harry. Not only does she agree to help him with his homework, but she also lends him a copy of Quidditch Through the Ages, which helps him better understand the cultural history of the sport. This subtle bonding activity demonstrates Hermione's emotional awareness, both of the role she can play as information provider and of her and Harry's shared experience of a Muggle upbringing and needing to fill the gaps in their Wizarding cultural knowledge. Hermione will continue to provide Harry with Quidditch-related presents throughout the series as a means of support, building a tradition that starts with this first match. Unfortunately, Snape decides to confiscate the book, as Harry is apparently not allowed to take it out of the castle, despite the fact that he's within the school's courtyard, where students are allowed during break. This odd rule, which does not recur within the series, seems to serve only as an opportunity for the author to point out Snape's injured leg and set him up as an antagonist within this chapter, as well as to show perhaps that Snape isn't afraid to go out of his way to give Harry a hard time. On a rare visit to the Hogwarts staff room in an attempt to recover the book, Harry witnesses Filch tending to Snape's injury. It is unusual that Snape would request Filch's help with this task, as opposed to Madame Pomfrey or any other teacher adept with healing magic, suggesting the rest of the teaching staff are unaware of it, but Snape's visible limp earlier in the day suggests it would be a difficult injury to hide. It is therefore unclear how much Filch and the other teachers know about how Snape hurt his leg, though it is possible he told them part of the truth, that he had attempted to protect the stone without going so far as to name his suspicions of Quirrell directly. Snape is acting on Dumbledore's orders, meaning he has the headmaster's approval, though he doesn't need to do much to explain himself, as the other teachers show little interest in either Snape or Quirrell's questionable behavior. It is partly this seeming disinterest by the adults, compounded by Hagrid's later dismissal of their concerns, that leaves Harry and his friends feeling they must attempt to save their stone on their own. As Harry's nerves build, his friends prepare banners of support to wave in the stands during this game. Before walking onto the pitch, we experience our first small scene with the Gryffindor Quidditch team, which showcases the dynamic between Oliver Wood, Angelina Johnson, and the Weasley twins. Fred and George, Harry's gateway into the friendships build as a member of the team, resort to their Quidditch debut and help prevent Oliver's intensity from undermining the young Gryffindor's confidence. Creative narrative crafting within the series. Although the majority of the novel is written with a restricted narrative view, staying close to Harry with access to his thoughts and emotions in this chapter and later Quidditch scenes, the narrator is set free and cinematically transitions between areas of action. While Harry is focused on his task at hand, we get to watch the action unfold like spectators, along with Hermione, Ron, and Hagrid in the stands before even further splitting the action between Ron and Hermione as she sets off to confront Snape. This dynamic approach allows us to understand becoming repetitive or awareness being limited to that of one character. Since Harry has no opportunity to interact with his friends, we transition to their commentary to gain a sense of the events that Harry can't know about while he's darting after the snitch. When his broom begins to misbehave, Hagrid informs the first years that dark magic can interfere with a broomstick. Hermione, assuming the incident was something to do with Snape, immediately seeks him out in the crowd to confirm her suspicions. Though she hunts down evidence and appears to find it when Snape is casting a spell under his breath, we will later learn this is a counter jinx. Learning from this error in judgment will be a formative moment of Hermione, who will come to exercise more caution when engaging in similar scenarios in later books. For now, though, her first thought is of saving Harry, faced with a teacher whose actions she had defended only a few pages earlier, actively working to harm her friend. Hermione uses her wits to create a distraction that will cause no harm to Snape but will shift his focus. She again puts her reputation at risk for the sake of her friend, the ultimate gift she can give. Little does she know, it is actually knocking over Professor Quirrell in the stands on her way to Snape that is the real saving grace, breaking his concentration and allowing Harry to regain control. Remarkably, Harry is instantly able to access this scene and set off towards the snitch, practically swallowing it in the process. As the trio recover with Hagrid after the match, they attempt to do the right thing and agree to tell an adult about what they think is happening at the school. Much to their chagrin, Hagrid doesn't listen to their concerns and attempts to convince them to stop theorizing, but in doing so, he can't help but overshare, leaving our heroes with two new names to add to their understanding. Nicholas Flamel, based on the real historical figure, and Fluffy the three-headed dog. And then we will go back to the beginning. First mentions: Angelina Johnson, Marcus Flint, Alicia Spinnet, Katie Bell, Adrian P, because I don't know how to pronounce his last name, and Terrence Higgs. Did you know? Remember how we mentioned Fluffy is often compared to Cerberus? Hagrid tells us in this chapter that he bought him off a Greek chappie he met in a pub the previous year, which practically confirms that the author used the mythology with purpose. Timeline: November 1st to 8th. November 1st to 7th. Harry attends extra Quidditch practices in preparation for the first match. November 8th. During break, Snape confiscates Harry's library copy of Quidditch Through the Ages for reading outside. Evening. Harry goes to his staff room to ask for his book and sees Snape's injury. And there's the 2 pages. Ring theory. In chapter 11, Chapter 11 features the second time a student looks right past Quirrell, sees Snape, and assumes he is the guilty one. The first time this happens is during the Welcome Feast in, you guessed it, Chapter 7. Quirrell's beyond the books. Quirrell set out to find Lord Voldemort, believing himself to be able to control an encounter with Voldemort, but alas, that is not the case. Voldemort took immediate control of Quirrell's body upon learning he was a professor at Hogwarts, and from then on directed all his movements. Timeline: November 9th. November 9th, 10 a.m. Harry can't eat due to his nerves about the upcoming match. 11 a.m. The Quidditch match begins. Hagrid joins the Gryffindor first years to watch. Harry's broom starts to go haywire. Hermione knocks Quirrell over and sets Snape on fire. 20 minutes after the match ends, Harry, Ron, and Hermione have tea at Hagrid's hut and discuss their theories about what's been going on at the school. Fandom. Picture it. Middlebury, Vermont, 2005. You're a massive Harry Potter fan who wishes like heck that you could fly. Being the athlete you are, you set out with a few friends to adapt Wizarding Quidditch for Muggles, and thus a new sport is born, Muggle Quidditch. The co-ed sport uses a volleyball, dodgeballs, broomsticks, and a human snitch equipped with a tennis ball. It is a high-contact, rough sport with dozens of injuries during the 2013 U.S. Quidditch Cup alone, including multiple broken collarbones. Team USA even played an exhibition game at the 2012 London Olympics. Did you know the Golden Snitch is worth 150 points due to the fact that back in the days before Quidditch was Quidditch as we and Harry know it, a caged bird called a snigget was brought to a Quidditch game and offered up as a 150 galleon reward for the first player who caught it. Consider this. At the start of the chapter, we see Filch helping Snape bandage his leg, which leads us to believe Filch, at the very least, knows about Fluffy. What do you think he knows about the guarded chamber below? I don't think he knows much because it is said to believe that Filch is a squib. So I don't think he knows much. There are the pages, and then we get into the last two pages here. Ring theory. On Harry and Ron's first night at Hogwarts, they climb to the top of the spiral staircase and into the dormitory, where Ron finds Scabbers on his bed chewing the sheets. Later in Chapter 11, Dean paints a sign for Harry's first Quidditch match using the bed sheets Scabbers had ruined. Consider this. Some believe the Snitch's high point value unbalances the gameplay and is unfair considering the athleticism required for the other positions. What do you think? Honestly, it's kind of in between for me because, one, it is fair because if you're behind on points and you really need the points, you catch the Snitch and you get 150 extra points. So, but in a way, it's unfair because of all the other athleticism that is in the game. Beyond the books. In a live chat on Bloomsbury.com just days after the release of Book 7, the author stated that no one should ever try to mend a broom at home, as the consequences can be disastrous. Consider this. If Lord Voldemort is sticking out of the back of Quirrell's head, albeit covered with a turban, can't he see Snape as muttering the counter curse? I never really thought of that. I honestly never thought of that. Beyond the books, Quidditch Through the Ages, the Hogwarts library book that Hermione lends to Harry before his first match, came to fruition due to the author writing much more than needed. She stated that bits of Quidditch Through the Ages and Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them were just written for my own fun, so when Comic Relief asked her to write a charitable short story, she decided to complete the book instead. The books instead. Which is actually really cool. Now, that is it for tonight, but Friday, hopefully Friday, we will get into Chapter 12 and a special feature in this book. And then all that's left would be 5 chapters and 2 more in between stuff, like the closer look, the special features. But yeah, that's it for tonight. It was a short stream tonight. Now, I will not be next Friday, the 3rd. The 3rd of April, I will not be doing a live stream. I will be doing a stream on the 4th, hopefully. Because the 4th is my birthday. So my birthday is like, wait, is it next Friday? What's next Friday? Oh yeah, next Friday is the 3rd. Next Saturday is the 4th. So yeah, that's it for the stream, and I will see you guys on Friday for the next stream. Bye bye.